Welcome, my friends and family and esteemed colleagues. As promised, today I'm going to make a video basically as a guide or guidance to those who are medicated and they would like to do the protocol. And of course to the health enthusiasts which have shown interest to use the self-healers protocol as healing treatment to their own patients. And thankfully we have more and more doctors and alternative medicine practitioners who are interested in implementing this protocol. I always say, first do it yourself before you start helping others. And it doesn't really matter if you're a health professional or not, because in medical school we have received knowledge that is contrary to the truth, so we really don't understand the body, and we don't even understand the medication. Why are we giving it and what is actually happening? We just feel that it is necessary and this is what is the right thing to do. This is why the big dilemma shows up that we understand that to implement self-healers protocol, medication has to be eliminated. And if someone is being medicated, especially heavily medicated, how can then they benefit from the protocol? Well, first thing we have to understand that medication is not healing agent. This is why once when you become medicated, you stay medicated. Because medication is only designed to normalize values. Now, to explain this, we can use blood pressure as an example. If we show up at doctor's office and he notices that blood pressure is higher, bingo, there goes medication. One of the most common medication used to be, and still is, the first one in line, diuretic. Why diuretic? Well, if you have a hose that is full of liquid, it is hard. If you get some of the liquid out, the hose gets softer. So if you eliminate some of the water from the body, then blood pressure goes down. Now, is this a good thing to do? Well, we are told it is. That the most important thing is the blood pressure to be normal. Well, we have to ask ourselves, why has blood pressure risen? And there are many different things that are involved in this process. We say, well, stress is going to raise blood pressure. Why? Because it speeds up the heart, faster heart is working, faster comes wave by wave of the blood, overall increases blood pressure. Whenever we are doing some work, blood pressure goes up as heart rate increases. But this is not the only thing, because you sit down, your blood pressure should drop. What may increase the blood pressure? Number one is heavy blood, viscous blood. And we noticed that as we get older, our blood is darker and more viscous, thicker. And such a blood takes more pressure to go through the system because it creates back pressure. Now, how does that work? Well, basically, you have a blood that is dehydrated. There is not enough plasma in there. So you right away do not have enough blood in your system. But this we don't care about because blood pressure is normal, right? Until it is not normal anymore. So what happens with this viscous blood? Since it is low on plasma, it is low on water and minerals. Such a blood cannot maintain proper electric conductivity. So electricity flows with more difficulty. Blood is de-energized. Because it's de-energized, all the particles in the blood lower the magnetic field. And as the magnetic field is lowered, now the particles do not repel themselves, one from another, or particles from the wall of the blood vessels. Just check my videos on blood, or check my articles. It's fastest way to do it. And you will understand that once when we have a proper conductivity and full charge, electric charge, what happens is that the particles, because their magnetic field increases, they repel, and they repel from blood vessels. You touch one particle, the heart squeezes, pushes particles, they don't even touch one another, because as soon as they come closer, like positive magnet to positive magnet, the other one starts moving. And when this one moves, the other one moves. So this is perfect flow. One squeeze of heart and the whole liquid in our body is moving. It's on a go. But as the blood becomes dehydrated because there is lack of minerals, and consequently it will not hold that much water. So now we have a thicker blood, which also does not conduct electricity, so the particles start banging to each other because the magnetic field is very small. And this is why every time the heart pumps, you have a group of cells being pushed. They all bump into each other, into walls. And this now increases the problem, the possibility that there could be a coagulation going on. Thrombus can form. So to prevent this, we take blood thinners. Well, it's not blood thinner, it's anticoagulant. Most common is aspirin. And we think we solved the problem. Well, you take the okay, so you take the aspirin. Well, while you have aspirin, your cells cannot hydrate. You are preventing coagulation, but you are not preventing the banging. You're not improving anything in the body. And by preventing coagulation, now the blood coagulates slower. So if you have any burst of small artery, there will be more bleeding going on. You hit yourself somewhere and you get big blue mark that turns green. Why? Because you injured yourself and you are internally bleeding and blood cannot coagulate. So you are getting these big marks. Okay, so obviously we are not doing things right. The worst thing is that if blood vessel breaks in your brain, you can just keep bleeding and you may tamponade, you create pressure in the brain, you get stroke. And we are being told, no, you take this so you don't get stroke. Well, it's working the other way around, you know. Now the thing is, if you take diuretic, because now you have higher blood pressure, what does diuretic do? Diuretic is basically poison that your body wants to eliminate no matter what, even if it means losing more plasma, more water, because with water always loses minerals. So now you're dehydrating your blood even further. So now lower plasma levels will now stay in a way of blood cleansing, because blood cannot cleanse, cleansing organs cannot cleanse the blood when there is no plasma. Healing is not the primary thing for the body, unless the body is in a danger. So when the problem becomes very strong. Until then, there are different priorities. One is even work, catching the food, feeding yourself, digestion, absorbing nutrients. So if you are medicated with some medicine that is to lower your blood pressure, right away you have to know that these medicines are not important. They should have never ever been used, because blood pressure, increased blood pressure, is not a problem. We have to look, why is the pressure increased, and correct that problem, not play with the symptom. Blood pressure, high blood pressure is just a symptom. But we don't do that, of course. We just keep medicating. Oh, you are fine, your blood pressure is fine. Oh, yeah, okay. That you are extremely dehydrated, that you cannot now cleanse, that you are getting more and more toxic, as not only on blood level but also on cellular level, because cells will not hydrate with toxic blood. Oh, that's not important. Well, this is where the chronic diseases come from. So if you are medicated for high blood pressure and you want to do the protocol, just get rid of the pills. They are not serving you in any way that would benefit you. Now, blood thinners, get rid of them, even if you had a surgery. And now they are worrying that coagulation may occur, so they give you blood thinners. Okay, for 1 week, 2 weeks max, get rid of them. Now, another thing that people are medicated like crazy are statins, because we are being told cholesterol causes circulatory problems. We have to maintain the cholesterol low. This is all false. So the biggest user of cholesterol is your nervous system, especially brain. You start mingling with cholesterol production, brain is the first one to suffer. So you get Parkinson's, you get Alzheimer, and you wonder why. Well, get rid of the statins immediately. Doesn't matter if you want to do the protocol or not, get rid of statins. They don't serve you beneficially in any way, only negatively. They are toxins. Now, sometimes people are medicated with hormones, the thyroidal problems, let's say, or depleted adrenals, all the bullshit names we have invented. Why do we have a problem with misaligned, let's call it this way, system? Because we have changed the environment in our body. And we have changed it because blood is becoming toxic and because we are eating wrong food. And through genetic system, body is trying to find a blueprint in which the cells can survive the best way they can in this changed environment. And the messaging very often is going also through hormones. So the hormonal changes are direct response to the changes in your environment of the body. So instead of now trying to pump different hormones to try to equalize what is happening, all we have to do is repair the environment in the body. And then everything will sit in place. Even if you had a surgery, even if your thyroid is gone, because they can never take the whole thyroid. But even if you lost your ovaries and now you cannot produce certain hormones, your body will find a way. But first thing is you have to repair the environment. How do you do it? Through hydration. Because you have to cleanse. So it's hydration and change of a diet. It goes hand to hand. This is why the Health Cell Healers Protocol has those two things. It shows you how to properly hydrate and how to change, how to correct the environment on genetic level so the genes go back into working correctly. When this happens, the body works correctly because genes give the impulse, give the blueprint to cells what to do, how to do it, and when to do it. So we don't have to worry about adjusting. Body does the adjusting. We just have to make sure that we are not poisoning our body and that we give it what it needs to do the adjustments. Now, very often, people are, especially in the United States, they are on some kind of a suppressants because they have depression. Now, why are people depressed? Well, many reasons, but number one reason is because the brain cannot function properly when it is not being energized properly. Brain uses huge amount of energy, electricity. So it needs to be supplied by it regularly. It does it, the heart does it, but we are programmed to require certain percentage of energy to be received through food. Now, what is cellular food in the body? Is fat. It's not glucose as we are being told, because we don't have any deposit of glucose, so we can survive day or two without eating, which every animal can do. We become hypoglycemic. Why? Because we have trained our cells to run on type of energy that we have no reserve for. So we depend on eating multiple times a day. Every time the cells need energy, you gotta put this type of food in your mouth. And we are talking about carbohydrates, glucose, dietary glucose. So once when we work on this, your brain receives food when you are eating, so charges up, but because it uses a lot of energy, within 1 hour it already needs more. And you don't have any deposit. It has glycogen, but it cannot tap into it unless it is in a stress, unless it produces steroids. So there is not going to be any food there. And without energy, you feel loss of concentration, you feel tired, sleepy, and if you are left alone, you are going to just wait a little bit and half awake until you eat again and you perk up. But if you are forced to do something in this state and you have to concentrate, well, brain is getting into crisis because it does not have the energy to do it. So it's actually going into stress mode and produces stress hormones to tap in its glycogen reserves. And once when we produce stress hormones, we are in the fight situation, so we become aggressive. And this is where bipolarity goes, between eating and fasting, eating, fasting. Energy starvation, energy starvation. So, now, people who have these problems, instead of correcting diet, what they do, they go to a health professional that gives them medication. You go to doctor, you get pills. You go to alternate doctor, you get some plant, but still you are being sedated. And sedation is what does the trick. But all it does, it puts you in the further fog that you now don't even know that you are tired. You become zombie. Your metabolism slows down. You gain weight. You become more miserable. So just drop them. You don't need these medications, especially if you want to heal. You know, you want to heal, well, get rid of the poison. You have to detox anyway. Now the question is, well, can we drop the medication like this all of a sudden? Of course you can. There are some which are addictive and they give you headache. Well, you will have them anyway. You go slower or faster, you're going to get there anyway. So there is no reason why to procrastinate. But heavily medicated people, and doctors also, because we are misled, so we think, no, we have to gradually ease off. So okay, if you want to do it this way, you can do it with protocol, because when you start hydrating, first blood hydrates and starts cleansing. The cells are not going to start hydrating until blood is clean, period. So if you are hydrating and cleansing blood and taking medication, well, all that will happen is that you faster cleanse this medication out of your body. But cleansing toxicity from the blood, from toxic blood, it gives you symptoms. More toxicity, stronger symptoms. We call them symptoms of flu. Okay, because they can involve, if the blood is really toxic, it can involve pain, muscular, pain of joints, headaches, fever. So, and then nausea, vomiting, diarrhea. Heavily medicated people, usually when they start hydrating, they vomit because they are so toxic that through stomach they are eliminating now a lot of toxic mucus. That is toxicity that has been eliminated from the blood. So now, if you already have a symptoms of flu, and now you are medicating yourself while you are hydrating, well, you have stronger symptoms of flu. So cut the medication right away, at least in half. And after 2 days, when you see that there is no really difference, that you are having your diarrhea, that you are nothing else is changing, so you just drop all the medication. You don't need it. Now the difference will be in analgesic, because if you have been in pain, and many of my clients, which some of them came to me with very bad shape, with patches that they had to move every 2 days. Otherwise, they were screaming from pain. And the problem is, well, what can I do? I cannot live without a patch. So leave the patch there. Or if you are medicated, take the medication, take the analgesic, and continue hydrating. And you will notice that within several days, you don't even have to change the patch anymore, because the pain is going away. Pain is alarm. Very often alarming you that you need liquids. This is why Dr. Patmanjali, he named his book, Bodies Cry for Water. Okay? Pain is very often headaches. Why? Because pain is caused mostly through inflammation. And as tissue inflames, pushes on sensory nerves, which create pain. And tissue that is inflamed because it was very acidic, it was very toxic. So it needs to absorb some water so it can get rid of the toxicity. So inflammation is the process of the forced hydration. And when we understand this, well, then we understand that we have to hydrate, and pain is going to go down immediately because you are cleaning the environment. Body does not have to alert you that it needs water. And it has to be plasma, cannot be water. Water with minerals. So you will notice that within 1 week you don't need any more of these analgesics. Sometimes much faster. Sometimes within a day or two. And it is good to get rid of them as soon as you can, especially if you have been heavily medicated and if you are heavily toxic, because, or for a longer time, because your cells are very toxic and acidic. And I recommend you to use Bob Beck's blood electrification machine. It's not expensive. It's approximately $280, $300. And what will this do to you? It is basically going to reschedule how much, or control how much toxicity will be allowed to get out of your cells. Because if you don't use it, what will happen? That, let's say you are taking analgesic because you are afraid of pain, and now 3 weeks have passed of hydration, your blood is clean with the exception of this analgesic that is preventing cellular hydration. This is the only thing now in a way. And now you drop it. The first night when you have dropped this, the body cleanses it quickly, and the first night your cells are going to quickly gulp some liquid and throw the worst possible toxin out. And your blood will become so toxic in a short period of time that it will switch body's alarm to fast detox, which will increase the speed of your heart, so this way your blood circulation speeds up, so the cleansing goes faster, so you end up with tachycardia, sweating, fever, because a lot of toxicity came, body wants to burn it. There is more oxygen needed, so you hyperventilate. You wake up and you feel like you are dying. I had many people going through this, especially vegans. Now, this is because big load was offloaded of toxicity that now body has to deal with, and you have all these symptoms of very toxic blood, very strong flu. Now, you could have prevented this from happening if you would have, before blood was completely clean, start using pulsar. You cannot use pulsar, blood electrifier, while you are medicating yourself, because this forces cells to hydrate even when blood is still toxic. And if you are taking medication, this strong toxic remedy is going to be pushed into your cell. It may kill you, especially with analgesics. You have to be very careful. So you don't want to use it with any medication. But that's why you leave your medication, and then second week of cleansing, you leave your analgesic, and 2 days after you have left the analgesic, and blood is still being enough toxic that it does not have the cellular hydration, you are in the second week of cleansing, you start applying pulsar. And you apply it 10 minutes only. So 10 minutes, your cells will start producing potassium and start hydrating. And in 10 minutes, well, that's not enough time to do much of a cleansing. So cell will just absorb prematurely some of the blood, which is still toxic, but not that much as toxicity of your cells. And cells will throw some acids out. Again, not much, because you didn't absorb much. And now your body integrates it with the regular general toxicity of the blood and gets rid of it. And you repeat this twice a day, 10 minutes. And then if you notice that you don't have strong headaches, that it's bearable, next day you do 20 minutes. And this way you get a little bit more of these acids out. And at night again, when you are sleeping, if you don't see that, no, you don't have much headache, you can then increase the following day to 30 minutes. And this is how you control how much toxicity is going to go out of your cells, even while your blood is still toxic, but not that toxic that it would affect you hydrating it. Because the toxicity within your cell is way, way stronger. Now, if you use the pulsar 10 minutes and you start feeling dizzy, Well, you still have the anergetic in you. So stop. Detox, stop using pulsar, just drink a lot of plasma, let it go out, wait next day. Next day, do again. Put it on, 10 minutes. If nothing happens, repeat 10 minutes in the afternoon, and at night you will see if you have headache or not, because more toxicity has been exposed to your cells, and the way you feel at night will show you if you are going too fast with detox or not. So this way, when blood becomes clean, well, you have passed the hurdle, because you have started little by little controlling the detox from the cells of the worst acids little by little every day, so you don't have this rude awakening in the middle of the night, actually early in the morning, with highly toxic body, with tachycardia and all these problems. So you can avoid them by using the pulsar. Many people don't want to use anything, they don't want to spend money, or they don't have money. You don't need to use the pulsar. But you be ready that not necessarily it will happen, but most likely if you are very toxic on cellular level, if you have been vegan or vegetarian for a long time, if you have been medicated for a long time, then your cells are extremely toxic, and once when you stop taking any medication, including no medicinal remedies in the food, this is why the protocol shows you and leads you what you can eat, what you cannot eat. And again, I'm always available, so just ask me questions if you are in doubt, and I will try to answer the best of my ability. And what happens is that the first detox, if it is allowed for cells to just shoot out the toxins, you can become so toxic on your blood level that it really hits you very hard. Okay? And the toxins are not necessarily just chemical toxins. They could be emotional energies. They also cleanse the same way. And they need also plasma to cleanse. If they don't hydrate, they will not cleanse so easily. And I had instances when people drop medication, and I told them, look, be ready, the first night will be harsh. And then they go and they tell me, wow, I had such a bad dreams. I was between dream and being awake, and I was fighting with people. I was being so rude, and I remember all my best, my experiences in my life that hit me hard, and I was confrontational, and I feel so bad about my behavior. And now they are afraid, wow, what's going to happen tomorrow night? Well, the first night is always the worst. The first cellular detox is always the worst. It goes better after that, but there could be a harsh detoxes, and it could be after already several months being on protocol and you feel really good, and you can have some emotional detox because frequencies are shifting and they are spurting out from our genetic chain. They are spurting out frequencies and we cleanse them. So it could be something that was from your relative that came out through you. So detox is a funny thing, but you can do it beautifully using self-healers protocol. I have noticed also now that people who have started hydrating and they received the vaccine, this vaccine, which is actually not a vaccine, it's I don't know what to call it, depopulation agent. Other members of the family had very strong reaction and they did not have any reaction because body is well hydrated and immediately starts throwing things out as they come in. Now I don't know how deeply it will detox, if all of it comes out or not. But from what I have seen so far through several of my clients, that they did not see any difference after they received the vaccine. The jab, call it better this way. So even being in contact with other people, if you are well hydrated, your body can deal with those energies that radiate from those people. It's not necessarily shaving of spike proteins. Could be just the activity, because now it is noticed also that if you put magnet in the area where you have been jabbed, the magnet sticks to you, which means the jab is full of nanorobots, full of metals. And if magnet radiates, then you can imagine that this radiates out of the body like crazy. So just getting in your proximity, you will be affected with the same frequencies, which will spurt your body into defense mode, to cringe, some of your toxicity will come out, giving you the symptoms of flu, of detox. And since there are specific frequency targeting the procreation centers, women will sense it with sudden detox through menstrual cycle. Men may sense it with actual decrease of sperm count, because this is the related organ of a man, which is targeted through these jabs. Hydration helps you to fight these energies. So body, as it takes them, kicks them out and gives time for your genetic system to realign itself, to give instruction to your cells how to behave, how to modify themselves to be able to resist these energies. And they will adjust. So here we go. Everybody can use the self-healers protocol, but medication has to go. I recommend start hydrating first. And after hydrating at least one day, then drop the medication. Painkiller, you can stay longer, but don't go too long. You will notice that within a week, you will not need it anymore. So even if it's little pain, tolerate it for 2 days to cleanse, get a pulsar, use the pulsar. Again, it's $300. And it's good for the whole family, not use it. You use it only 2 times a day for a short period of time. You start with short period, 10 minutes, but the maximum you use it 1 hour, twice a day. So other members of the family can use it as well. And it also does produce colloidal silver, so double benefit. So I hope that this gives you enough information how to go about medicine and protocol. You don't need medication, is not helping you with anything. Medication is worsening your stuff. It's making you more toxic. Blood pressure is not a problem. It's what we do to lower it, that's what creates a problem. We say, oh, I have enlarged heart because I was under high blood pressure for a long time and now I'm sick. Enlarged heart is not disease. Every athlete, especially athletes that did intensive sports, they have all enlarged heart. I have enlarged heart from sports. There's no problem with enlarged heart. What enlarged heart will do, that it will skip a beat here and there because the body tells them, okay, I have everything I need. You don't have to work so hard. So your heart will go top, 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 top. No problem. But as soon as you start doing something, everything normalizes, because now the heart can work with normal rhythm, because this is what is the necessity for ourselves. Body is self-adjusting, perfect robot. It has sensors, it has switches, and it does what it needs to do to keep itself going straight to the target. Target is the health. And best to his abilities, even with us poisoning it. Even if it means to raise the cholesterol, raise the triglyceride, speed up the heart, it will do whatever, but it will go straight to the target. Once when you start monkeying and you start, okay, we have to lower the cholesterol. So you lower the cholesterol, but bingo, the plane goes off the target. Your health goes off the target. So, values are just indicators. They are symptoms of our toxic body. You don't monkey with values. You give to your body what it needs so it can correct the problems, which are not problems. It's just adjustment to the environment. Change the environment, choop, you readjust the body. Simple. Drop everything. You don't need hormones, you don't need supplements, you don't need medication, you don't need nothing. You will see. Just do the protocol. If you are a health professional, do it on yourself first, so you have your personal experience. And then, if you are helping other clients, if doubt sets in, give me a shout. I'll help you out. Because it is in our interest that we help as many people as possible, so we can cleanse and raise frequency. Go to the next level of consciousness. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. Love you all.